Hello, I am Patrick Barnard here in Montreal. Another very short commentary on a book. The book is Lakes, Their Birth, Life, and Death. It's written by John Richard Saylor. He's an academic in the United States from Clemson University. I intuitively knew before I read this book that lakes are living things, but what I learned here is how that process works. For example, lakes breathe through a process called overturning. That happens about once or twice in a normal lake every year. It is as if a lake, says Saylor, gets an enormous lungful of air, a year's supply of oxygen, all in one great gulp. Overturning is when the hot, oxygen-rich water at the top goes down to the bottom of the lake and the cold water rises to the top. I was at a lake recently, a glaciated lake north of Montreal at 1,400 feet called Lac Gustave. Lakes live. They breathe. I'm part of the life of the lake right now. Let's hope I and others like me are not part of its death. Saylor thinks that probably most lakes, especially in the northern hemisphere, have been caused by glaciation, but there's another force that he describes that creates very interesting lakes, and that's volcanic activity. The most dramatic form of volcanic lakes are calderas. They're great bowls left behind by ancient volcanoes. We have one in northern Quebec here called Pingualiat crater. Here you see a picture of it. Isn't it dramatic, the look of that lake? Now, Mr. Saylor also describes something else, and that's the death of lakes. The greatest example of that is the Aral Sea in Central Asia, which has shrunk because of human practices to 1/10 of its size. Mr. Saylor's book tells us how lakes begin, how they live, and also warns us that we, right now, should avoid killing our own lakes.